if the press stayed even after release when using our controller. Thank you for fixing this. This is a bug that has annoyed me from day one. Okay.
Ahoy there, sailor.
So we got a maintenance notice for 28th of the 12th. Looks like they're changing a lot of stuff, including the class stuff. Yeah, so we'll just go straight into it, I think. We'll just go straight into it. It's increased customizable UI elements, which is great because I know the Chocobo, the Chocobo, unfollowing team leader when diving, reviving teammates, etc. can now be customized, which is fantastic. It's very weird that this stuff wasn't customizable from the get-go. I don't know what the reasoning was behind that, but the fact is they're listening to the community, and that's important. They need to do that. It's all very good stuff. The reviving one's going to be a really good one to change. And the Chocobo stuff too, actually. It's going to be really good. All right, so next we've got the camera acceleration settings added, default sensitivity options adjusted. Camera acceleration can now be adjusted in the settings menu. Due to this change, the default sensitivity settings, low, medium, and high, have been adjusted. So basically, if you've previously adjusted your sensitivity settings, just tap reset next to restore settings to previous values to revert them to your previous settings. Kind of a weird workaround for that, but I'm glad they're definitely thinking about people who are happy with their settings and don't have to take a screenshot and have to memorize everything. Like for me, I'm still figuring out the sensitivity settings, so definitely this is a really cool thing to see. I think it's good that they sort of outline how you sort of get around this thing. So for the monster kills, credit for defeating certain monsters has been adjusted. Players that deal more than a specific amount of damage are still alive at the time the monsters are defeated will receive credit for the kill. That's good. That's good, because I think at the moment it's basically you don't get credit for anything even if you put a little bit of damage and someone else gets the kill. At least that's how I'm understanding it. All right, so we've got item names will now scroll in the shop and Moogle Emporium. Item names are too long and will be fully displayed while auto scroll horizontally. That is a hard word to say. And several other locations. Right, so it's just names are too long and they're just basically doing a little bit of tidy up. That makes total sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, it does make sense, doesn't it, Joker? So now we're in the balance adjustments. I kind of want to get the thoughts out while I've got them going. Warrior, we all know this is the problem one. Warrior is a big problem. So melee attack damage is adjusted, finally. So damage multipliers lower for first and second attacks, increase for the third finishing attack. So, okay, so this is now counting on you doing all 3 hits successfully. That's an interesting change. We're going to see how that works, because a lot of people can get those 3 hits off. A lot of people can do it. So if all 3 attacks land, the total damage dealt will be the same as before this adjustment. Right, so it's just basically going, if you get 1 to 2 hits, the damage is going to be lower, but that third attack will basically add up to what the damage would normally be, instead of it being evenly spread across all 3 attacks. Makes sense. I get it. I get it. Now we're on to Ranger, my favorite class. So Ranger has the Assess being buffed, which is interesting. Always thought Assess was fine. I didn't think it needed a buff or anything like that. Reduce animation of the visual effect when activated. Interesting. Increase enemy detection range. Increased effect duration. Okay, so gonna widen the range and it's gonna last even longer. I didn't think Ranger really needed to be adjusted all that much. I thought Ranger was pretty generous. I mean, I think maybe level 1 might have been the only one that wasn't really great. You know, like it's very small kind of dome when the assess goes out. It's good to see that they're going to adjust that too. So yeah, I look forward to playing as Ranger more and seeing how that goes. Okay, so Monk looks like it has a lot of things done to it. The melee attack has been buffed, which I think is a good thing for a Monk. You kind of need that, right? Increase the aim assist range, increased attack damage. But I guess that makes sense because you want to be able to lock on to do the hits because they have to get to such close range really quickly. Makes total sense. So inner strength is buffed as well. Added a 10% increased speed effect that triggers once when reduced to 20 HP or less. Once again, I don't play Monk, but if Monk players are here in the chat, definitely let me know what you think of this. And the mana wall has been buffed as well, so players can no longer pass through the wall. That's a pretty big change, because at the moment, I haven't seen any reason to play Monk, because that wall is just good at long range. Honestly, if you're getting shot at, drop that wall and bullets can't get through, but people can still walk through it. And the durability is increased too, so that's going to be even more crazy. That's interesting. The fact that you can't walk through, you can drop that and save yourself from a warrior, basically. Or like someone that can basically hone in on you really quickly. So yes, so we can't pass through the mana wall anymore as a Monk. That's crazy.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. Yes, it does. 2 of those tonight. We're two for two. Okay, so now we're on to the Ninja. So Ninja has its hide ability buffed as well. The flame effect can be adjusted to blink for a short period of time. Okay. Items can now be obtained and used while hide is active. Thank you. That was a big thing that pissed me off about Ninja. You couldn't do anything when you're in stealth mode. Like, come on, you couldn't even hide and just heal yourself. Just, look, I didn't care about if you couldn't attack in stealth. That doesn't make sense if you can't attack in stealth. But the fact you couldn't heal yourself when you're hiding, I thought the whole point of stealth was to be able to get away and quickly recover and do whatnot. Instead, you were having to wait and then heal yourself, and then, like, you would have nothing you'd have nothing to help defend yourself with the hide again. It makes total sense that this change is done. It makes total sense, which is really good. I think that's a really good change for Ninja. But I see Sorcerer Sorcerer didn't get any changes whatsoever. So I think the Monk and the Warrior here are definitely getting a lot of changes. Monk especially definitely needed that. Warrior definitely needed the change. Warrior was just way too powerful. Yeah, so this is going to be really cool to see. Now we're into Materia. So the gravity has been buffed. Movement speed reduction effect increased versus Chocobos. Thank goodness. I mean, that was insane. Like, you could put down as many gravity traps as you wanted, but if you were on Chocobos, they wouldn't slow down. They basically wouldn't stop, depending on the speed of the Chocobo. And also, we've got the effects of Arrow will no longer activate while affected by gravity. Good to see. Good. I'm glad like Arrow will just not be a thing anymore. Had so many times where gravities went off and people just get out of it so easily, you know, because gravity should be like, you messed up, you know, you've stepped on that, you've messed up, now you've got to deal with the consequences of that. And yes, it's a very good ambush tool behind doors. It's very good, especially at revive stations. It's really good there too. So Materia and style abilities can no longer be used while affected by gravity. Interesting. All right, so overall, Materia didn't get much of a change this time. It just looks like they looked further at gravity and, you know, and basically and Arrow and stuff within the gravity well, which is good. They're focusing a little bit more on one Materia at a time. I like that. That's really good. That's very smart. So we've got some costumes and hair animations did not play on some screens. When entering a match or restarting the app, the active control layout would revert to layout 1, even if you had layout 2 or 3 selected. Good. They're changing that because I get so annoyed by that. Layout 1 is for my controller. Layout 2 and 3 are for my touch controls. Really annoying when it changes out like that. What else we got here? The conditions to complete some challenges were not being counted properly. That has been a big issue. I've encountered that too. Glad to see they're fixing it all. I imagine they probably haven't gotten to all of them. There's probably still some that will escape. That's all good. We'll report them. We'll find them. It's all good. Player models will sometimes fall through chocobos when the punk chocobo, I always call it punk chunkobo. Punk chunkobo skin was equipped. Interesting. I haven't had the punk skin yet. Didn't know that was a thing. Sounds pretty funny. So we've got the Wrath Revolver as well. Rate of fire was higher than intended at R rarity. Good. Glad they're changing that. R rarity should be a certain type of speed for firing. And in some conditions, some buttons would become stuck if the press state even after released when using our controller. Thank you for fixing this. This is a bug that has annoyed me from day one. Okay. Hopefully they fix this bloody thing. The amount of times have I said on stream, oh my god, I can't stop firing. I can't stop firing. Like, I let go. I literally let go of the fire button and then my gun is still firing or still aiming or still doing something. So it's good. It's good that they're addressing that immediately. That's good. Thank you very much. Look how happy he is. I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy right now. And finally, quick chat would stop responding when using a controller. Good. Good. That one right here. That is the one I'm most excited about out of everything they're doing here. This one has annoyed me from day one. Oops. You guys have no idea. It has been so stupid. I've hated it. I don't know what's with what's with that. Everything fine with the controller. In particular, my PS4 controller, every time I'm firing, it's not every time, but occasionally, I'll be firing and then my controller will just, like, you let go and then the game will still be acting like I'm firing a gun. So I'll basically be emptying my clip and the only way to change it is to change the weapon or to use a skill, use a materia. Like, it's an annoying bug. It's a really annoying bug. You've never had this problem. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. I get it relentlessly. That's crazy. Overall, I think this is a really good start for the classes. A very good start. Interesting, we didn't see any sorcerer stuff in here. But I think overall, it's going to be interesting to see what changes up now because Warrior is going to have to work harder. They're going to have to work much harder to land those hits. I think Monk will be very viable now to play as because now the mana wall, basically you can't pass through it. You have to walk around it. I don't think, well, obviously magic couldn't get through it anyway. No bullets could get through it anyway. Yeah, it's interesting that physically we can't get through that. And with the Ranger, I'm still interested to see how that's going to work. I didn't think the Ranger really needed much changes, but it's good to see they're looking into it. So that's great. Yeah, but the Ninja as well, good changes there with using health items while in stealth. It's fantastic. I love it. So yeah, I think overall, guys, let me know what you guys think. This is interesting. Really interesting nonetheless. Once again, they're fixing this bit. They're fixing it. I'm so happy.